Hi. Oh, okay, so non-binary, what I understand, because I'm new to the whole thing too, is that you don't feel like you're a girl or a boy, and sometimes you don't feel like you're either. So basically, you just don't feel like you're a girl or a boy, and you don't feel like being called like female pronouns or male pronouns. So that's why you're they them. If that makes any sense. Basically, it has to do with how you feel about your own personal self. I hope that makes sense, because I'm not the best person to be asking. I'm a newbie here when it comes to that stuff. And then there's like all the there's a whole bunch of other like things that goes on, like it goes under the ace umbrella or the trans umbrella in the community. So it's like, I mean, there's lots of, yeah, it's basically your personal, like personally how you feel about your own body. And then it gets into the whole, are you attracted to other non-binary people too? Because it's like, because like if you feel like you're non-binary, are you attracted to other non-binary people? And the other thing is like, how do you know that they are non-binary? You have to ask them. So you have to have a conversation. So it's like, it just adds onto the craziness. It's like, I have to ask them if they're non-binary. It's basically the whole thing. It's like, if you're a lesbian, it's like, do you like, you're trying to figure out if the other person's a lesbian too, and you're like, how do you tell? It's like, how do you ask anybody anything? Yeah, it's basically, it's like a lot of the time, it's, well, for me, it's like, how do I feel today? Basically, it's like, do I feel very feminine? Do I feel really masculine? Do I feel like I am nothing? Like, I am none of those things? I want to be a dinosaur? Basically, it's like, do I feel like I'm a part of the whole human race today? No? Okay, I'm not part of the human race today. and it's not that extreme, but it's like sometimes you go through like well, yeah, it's basically it's like, and the other thing it for some people it's they start suffering from like body dysphoria or like other kinds of dysphorias where they're unhappy or they're uncomfortable when someone goes ma'am or sir to them or miss or like basically talking to them as either or, and it like upsets them. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, and it's like, and the other thing is like it can trigger other problems if some people don't like to be misgendered, but imagine being mis whatever like because like misgendered is worse, but it's like if you told someone that you're this and they just keep going, oh sir, and you're like, no, I'm not a sir or a ma'am, and it's like, please stop, like it actually physically hurts. And it's like people go, oh, words don't hurt. Oh, you've never been bullied then. Because words stick, and that's the worst part. But basically, it's so they feel more comfortable with themselves. Yeah, I mean, if like the best way to deal with that is by going, no, I am not this, I'm this, and explaining to the person calmly. Because, yeah, I don't understand why you'd get mad at someone without them knowing, or he or she knowing that you're not a he or a she, and then getting mad at them for being whatever. But it's like, it's the people who know and don't want to care. And I'm still completely learning myself on this whole situation myself, because I'm kind of new to the whole LGBTQ plus group myself, because during the pandemic I realized I wasn't, and I was like, oh, well, that explains everything. That explains a lot of things. And I'm like, well, okay. So yeah, and it's like, if you want to ask a question, ask it like that. Ask it the way you did. People will answer you if they want to educate you. Because there's some people out there that don't want to educate you. Don't want to educate anybody. Don't want to, like, this is like, it's like their personal thing. Yeah, it's your personal thing, but help other people understand why it's your personal thing. Because it helps them become more educated in the whole system. So thank you for the follow, by the way. Welcome to the B team. Actually, I have no clue what I'm calling you guys. Yeah, but like, if you have questions about like anything, most people would be willing to answer your questions, like about anything. Like if you wanted to understand trans people or any of those things, just ask them nicely. They will fill you in. Sometimes they will fill you in to way too much, like too much information kind of situation, but they fill you in. Most people are pretty nice, except if they're having a bad day and trolls are coming in. Then excuse them for that. Because trolls are a pain in the frickin' butt. Well, the problem is, like, it's people who don't want to try to understand causing the problems. So if you are like an ally or you just want to know why people feel that way, ask them, and ask them nicely and respectfully. They'll answer you. Or they'll go, I'm not the best person to answer you, but this person can answer your questions. And they'll introduce you to someone else or tell you where to get the information, because there's some people, I still feel like I'm not qualified, but I feel like sometimes the most unqualified people might be the best people to somewhat explain to newbies on what something means. So don't go up to someone nicely if you feel that way and go, I don't understand, but I want to understand. That's the start of that will be a start of a new interesting friendship. Oh, okay. I ran again? Seriously? Well, sometimes certain things are really hard for people to talk about because it, in a sense, is a personal journey, and sometimes trying to express that personal journey someone goes through into words is very hard for a lot of people. And so that might have been the issue, and might have been how you were trying to ask those questions too. They might have come off a little unkind. Maybe be the best way to say that. I was going to say something else, but get sassy. Sorry. But no, it's some people are like, they're like, I don't know how to answer this properly, or I feel like if I answer this will change how you think of me. So, I mean, it matters on how close you were to that person. Just saying. Well, and you have to remember it's how others perceive how you were like sometimes you don't even know it, but if you're talking face to face with the person, you do have micro um facial expressions and body expressions that give off a completely different signal. And some people can really read those. And so she might have gone, okay, this person's like the way this person's body language is talking to me is telling me something completely different. And you might have been being nice and curious and everything, but it was like sometimes our bodies and like our facial features give completely different signals, which is horrible. But like some people are really sensitive to that, so it's like you could be going, I'm curious, but your body might have been like closed, like showing sort of like, I'm closed off, I really don't actually want to know these things. So it's like it sometimes our bodies kind of give away a little bit of our underlying subconscious thinking, if that makes any sense. And so sometimes some people can read that and they're really sensitive to that. So it's like, and it's like, so it might have not been anything you were doing consciously. It might have been like everything subconsciously. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it matters on like if your mindset has changed recently. Like you've become a little bit more open or a little bit more curiouser, and it matters on like subconsciously how you feel about things. So it's like it's a whole bunch of like woo mind stuff, and it's like sometimes it's like it matters on the person. And sometimes the person might have been going through a whole bunch of shit you don't even know about, and them trying to answer those questions were just causing a whole bunch of issues with them, like mentally, in their like physical body, and they're like they couldn't express it, so they, instead of trying to go, I can't answer those right now, I'm just completely shutting you out, which kind of sucks because then you lose really good friends and things. And in a sense they lose good friends because they can't express how they feel because sometimes they don't have the words for it. So then they're like, meh, running away. I can't deal with this. I'm running away. Which really sucks. How are we doing? Like all the little tiny like things that our body does, every little tiny thing our mind does. Sometimes it sets people off. Sometimes it just really sucks because, and like if you, and the other thing is like I didn't know a lot about like micro aggressions that people do face wise and body wise. I didn't know a lot of things. I've learned most of that in the past like 2 years or something, about like a whole bunch of stuff that we do that we don't even know we do. And it's like, wait, what? We do these things that we don't even know we do? And it's like there's no way to control them because there are all these little tiny micro things that your body does. And because we are not like we naturally just do them, we don't realize we're doing them until someone points them out, and then you're like, then you're really conscious of them. You're like, and then you're like, oh god, and then you just start thinking about all the microaggressions that you do, and you're like, oh my god, I'm so aggressive. But yeah, so just take into account that it might have been your body language that you were giving off, and it could have been something on their end too. So it's like It's not your fault. It's not their fault. It's not really anybody's fault. It's just that's how things end up happening. I got glass windows. Do I have a door? Did I even buy the door once? No, I didn't buy the door once. Okay. But yeah, so I mean, at least you're trying again to understand. And there's a lot of there's really if you really want to learn more from someone who knows what they're talking about or who's been in the thing, been in the LGBT pretty good time, I suggest you look up in YouTube. There's a lot of really good resources out there on YouTube if you really want to get down to the really deep psychological issue things to do with everything. There's some really good YouTubers out there. So I mean, that's my best suggestion when it comes to dealing or understanding stuff, because sometimes sometimes I'm not the best person, but there are other people who might be able to answer a lot better than I can. I just answer the way I understand it from what I've looked up and what I've read. So you can take what I say with a grain or a huge bucket of salt. Just saying. And the other thing is, yeah. I mean, yeah. It's very important to me to let other people know that that is how I am and that's who I am. Because it's I didn't I've always felt this way kind of situation. So it's but I didn't have the word, and that's the issue. It's a lot of times people feel a certain way and they don't know the word for it. Then they'll read something and go, "That's me," in a nutshell. How have I not heard of this word or whatever? And it just blows their mind. So I mean, there's a lot of things that I didn't realize, and then I figured out, and I was like, "What? There's a word for that? There's a word and a meaning for that? What? Why haven't I heard of this?" Kind of situation. Yeah, there's a lot of things you can learn. Yeah, but sometimes if there are things that you it matters on the person first of all, but for you, yeah, maybe not, but the fact that you someone heard here's a word and a definition of this word, and they're like, I've always felt that way, it can be a mind-blowing a moment for them. So just keep that in mind, because some things are just so crazy.